place. Where are we at then?
Could you, before we wrap up, because I think we should probably close up here soon, just a minute on how these hymns and how this hymn project has crossed denominational lines that that are often more firmly in place. I've noticed from Catholic to Baptist to Pentecostal that religiously in terms of worship seems like there's often not a lot of crossing of paths, but that these hymns
Do
seem
cross
to do
it.
that. Who's involved with them?
That's
who
right.
Sing them.
Yeah, that's a fascinating thing, and it's a very beautiful thing because it's, to me, it makes it very clear that this is God's work, and there's a spiritual power behind it that keeps us from being divided. So it keeps our divisions from breaking us apart. I think that's the way to put it. When we first started, the funding to buy my my old iMac. What's the original Macintosh computer called? I forgot. Anyway, I bought one of those Mac Classics, and the funding to buy that Mac Classic and the software to write music came from the LeBray Foundation through the Catholic Church, through the help of Father Jim Antone and Father Randolph. They collaborated together to see to it that the people at St. LeBray helped out getting this project going. The Baptists provided the organization with Angela Russell was involved in these first decisions to get to adopt the Crow hymns as a mission of the Crow Indian Baptist Association. And so the funds came through to buy this stuff and to get this going, came as part of the business of the Crow Indian Baptist Association. And then the Pentecostals provided the setting in the events to help this encourage along, and a lot of Pentecostals were involved in singing the first hymns for the Crow Hymns Ministry, even though it was funded by Catholics and even though it was organized by Baptists, it was still sung by Pentecostals, and that's where Tommy Morrison and Annie Coster were two very early singers of the Crow hymns, and so was Larry Plainbow. And Larry Plainbow was an interesting Pentecostal preacher in the Catholic Church. Yeah, it's very interesting stuff. That helped.
How about traditionalists? We were talking a little bit about that. How have traditionalists who don't identify strongly with Christianity, how have they regarded the project, like the Crow Hymns project?
Probably in a similar way to most ethnologists and people who come to study Crow culture. It gets ignored because it is an overtly Christian thing. Well, Christian is European, and so European culture isn't really what we're here to study. Say most of the anthropologists that have come to the Crow, ethnologists that have come to the Crow people, the Plains Indian people, and so they ignored it because it was Christian, therefore European. And in fact, a recording that I have from 1920s that was done by Robert Lowy on a wax cylinder and preserved in the Lowy Museum in California. I got permission to get it released and recorded so we could use it in our hymn book. Robert Lowy, the voice is on the introducing the tune, and he says something like this: "And here is Max Bigman singing a Crow version of a Baptist hymn." Well, it's not a Crow version of a Baptist hymn. It is a Crow hymn. And I'd like to correct my Father Lowy about this, but you know, he's a very esteemed anthropologist who did enormous research and wrote books on the Crow people, but he kind of missed the boat when it comes to the Crow hymns because he understood that the Crow people were just simply doing an imitation of a European Christian thing. Okay, those folks reject it, and then the people who are the traditionalists, they reject it as well because it's have in the past anyway, not so much recently, because it's for much the same reasons. It doesn't represent their traditions. The Christian church has rejected it. I wanted to say it this way. The Christian church has rejected it for the very reason that these songs do not rise to the level of the harmonized organ accompaniment or piano accompaniment hymns that have very clear rhythms, very clear phrase endings, no gobbledygook halays in them that remind a person of pagan spirituality, and a tune that is Pythagorean. They didn't have that. So my theory is that in spite of Indian attempts to sing their own songs with rhythms and tunes consistent with the European tradition, they failed. And today I would say, praise God, they failed, because in doing so they kept the old tradition of how songs fit together musically, the tunes themselves, the pitches themselves, and the rhythms themselves.
Okay. That's excellent. Thank you. And this is, go ahead.
Okay. The man that brought the Sundance to the Crow Reservation, William Bickley, his wife had a song, and she then sang it in church, so she kind of kept it herself, and William knew about it, and then along the way, somehow that he used that song into Sundance. You know that?
No, I didn't know
And
that.
that
That's
song
fascinating.
was one of the special songs in the Society of Sundance.
And it was a Crow hymn to
Yep.
start with.
It was a Crow hymn to start with. His wife was a Pentecostal at one time.
And there's a song she received.
She received the song from God and she kept it, and finally she didn't sing it, so her husband used it and made it into a Sundance song.
And what made it a hymn? Was it a Christian message? Were the words Christian?
He only used it,
The music.
the words, into the sound of a Sundance song.
He put the Sundance words to it.
And
Sundance songs don't have words.
And Johnson was a POD man, Native American church group, and God gave this man a song. And now that song's very important. People are using Johnson like this funeral a couple days ago. They used Johnson for him to sing in a funeral in his song.
And he sang his song in
Yeah, he sang his song, and I was there, but he went ahead and sang it
And it's a Crow hymn.
as a Crow hymn, and we still use it. That's one of the, that's just like you said, one of the popular songs we have now that this man was blessed with.
And he's peyote. He's a peyote man.
He's a POD man.
Is he also been in the church, or he?
Oh yeah, there's times that his mother is a Pentecostal, Agnes. Yeah.
Agnes Pretty Weasel?
No, Agnes Holmes.
Agnes Holt.
Big hair.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Big
Agnes
hair.
Holt.
She was a big hair,
She was a big
but
hair.
she's married to Holds, Holds. Anyway,
Shaver,
Shaver.
and then she married him.
Big hair.
And he died, and he married Poles.
Yeah, right. And
That's why Johnson is big hair.
like Cummins.
John Cummins.
You know the story more than I did. He's another Sundance. He's we might call him a medicine man. He's a leader for putting up Sundance, but he was blessed with a song. So that's God's way. God uses a foolish man to confound the wise. So he uses music to bring in souls too. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
So God has no respect to a person. Your thought is not my thoughts. Your ways is not my ways. I'll do it my way, the way I want it. That's from God. It's not our plan. We're not the ones that giving out the songs. He is the one that give out the songs for a purpose. Right? So that's the way it went on these songs. God can give songs to any. I just said that. I said it last night, didn't I? To these white people. God can bless you with a song.
Okay. And again, this is July 26, 2000.